haven't traveled outside of the country much at all. I haven't had a career. I've been over 90% deaf most of my life. To say it's asinine and an enormity to saddle me with a Secret Service role as a story agent in history is something of an understatement, especially when I'm not paid for it and tortured to death. Um, but people do tar and feather me with their lies about me and what happened to me. That's cost me most of my life in terms of straightening it out. Not that I have many people listening to me. People I do have listening to me are the people who did it. It's a small studio network. So what we get today is the Jewish Defense League working with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Bernie Slanders. Gail Carolyn Burstyn, who wrote the script, was Jewish. Now, some of you probably realize that we have shenanigans that go on in our international politics. Now, I wasn't there as an adult um, navigating the post-war world with the GI Bill and the Peace Corps and so on. But it does seem to me that one possibility that happened, which was big, is that the Red Scare cracked down on the ability to get along with people from whom we may have profited to get along with, profited by. One of the things that happened to me at Highland Park at Pittsburgh was that a very sinister English kid with a violent Jewish gang set on me. And my father knew Eisenhower, and he had crossed the Israeli-British alliance during the Suez Canal crisis, where he had a heart attack and they jumped at the opportunity to grab on Egypt. And Eisenhower summoned his power to get himself out of the hospital bed, tell them no. He shut down the Suez crisis. They didn't want to see that happen again. So they attacked me in the brain, for one thing, killed the Kennedys. With our intellectual heritage out of the way, they could implant their steering tower, which we're still dealing with, and we now see what it comes to. But the politics of someone like the Biden administration not only have to deal with those things, may be complicit a little bit, because there's a complication in there that most people don't get to the point of grasping pertaining to the Jewish community. Now, when you look at big politics where things get mired in masses, and it ceases to be about a little kid named Jimmy who got attacked by goblins pushing King Crimson, you start seeing things like, oh, well, the Palestinians wouldn't want you because you think pornography is a sustainable development of safe sex, and they're Muslims. But the Israelis Palestinian to me in the sense that it's hard to miss the fact that Shulman and Katz and Burson were in Hebrew schools together and plying the trickery of attacking me and then saying I'm dangerous to them. And they get down into these little touchy-feely things. Well, the point isn't that Gail Burstyn wasn't arrested for writing that scroll because she was Jewish. She was appointed the job of writing the scroll so the US government could say we're not arresting her because she was Jewish. You see, the face behind the face, you say, isn't the Jewish community attacking the United States per se. It's advocates within the United States for the Jewish community, giving them the okay to attack the United States because they can say, we have to accept it because they're Jewish. See how it works? And they try to depict me as an anti Semite, of course. and they attacked the negro part of my brain because they implanted a neuroplastic um, mind control instrument from Attica State Psychiatry when I was about. I mean, I used to have dinner at the Watmaker's house. There's no telling what they put in the food to put my brain to sleep. They were shameless poisoners. I mean, they poisoned me in the mouth very recently. So the question is, how do you professionally operate to put a stop to pull the plug on these things and put a stop to it? It's certainly not going to be by going along with Ringo Starr, whose outfit has been clearly shown to be using electrifying hallucination processes. In fact, one of the reasons they gave me Parkinson's was so that because I had gotten into school and made good grades after somebody finally taught me sign language, that had compromised their ability to lock me down with lies about what they had done to me before psychiatrically. So they need to phase out my perceptions. So they give me something that likely will lead to dementia as it progresses. So I'm dealing with the criminally insane, and not only are they criminally insane, but they're very, very ferocious. So, I'm a nonviolent person. They indoctrinated me with Colored Spade. I mean, we were supposed to go around singing the songs from Harry, love will steer the stars. I'm a colored spade nigger, black nigger, jungle bunny, jingle boom coon, picking meow, meow, Uncle Tom, and Jemima, little black timber, convict, swamp candy, junk man, shoe shumber, elevator operator, table cleaner, on the hard nose, voodoo zombie baggy, lip flat, no stop, dancer, resident of all I'm in the president of the United States of Love. You don't watch out, the boogeyman will get you. And they were like, Palestinians are out to get us. Jimmy Carrey used to boogeyman. You can see he's right. We're going to blow up the nigger in this bank. I mean, it's one slander after another when it comes to American politics. The democratic processes are nice and everything, but you know, who would make a monstrosity out of a one night stand the way these brutal museum thieving, child endangering Hollywood fanatics did? It's like the, I've not. I'd said this before, but when Ray was asked, "Were you sleeping with my ex-girlfriend?" He went out with a couple of my ex-girlfriends. I'm not going to specify which one, but it wasn't the one that is going to go. Think he's talking about me. He's talking about me. It wasn't. He said, "Well, that's what boyfriends and girlfriends do, Jimmy." And so go by word of mouth to these idiots and explain that you never slept with me and I never slept with you, and you've had lovers. And no, you don't think that they're evil because they made love to you. Is that hard? There must be half a dozen women in Seattle who've broken up with somebody and started a new relationship, who would, with their voice disguised so Rachel McCloskey doesn't hear them, that they said something, with their voice disguised and a mask over their face, will say, "Yes, I broke up with a boy and then started dating someone else." And they won't, I promise, we won't try to identify you. We won't give your name to these, um, to these agents of rightness, striding forth with their shields for the Star of David and Holy America. We won't tell any federal agents who you are. can I please wear contacts, changing my eye color? Yes. Put on the mask, will change your voice and you won't have to be identified. Just testify that you went out with somebody and broke up with them and then began dating somebody else under the illusion that it was normal because providence is coming from people like you.